Hey everyone, we're back with more FF14. We're gonna be talking. We're gonna go talk to Lord Hien, but it looks like I have to actually go into my teleport menu for this one. That's fine. So, guys, we are back. We're going to be going through patch 4.3. Patch 4.3 has slightly less total number of quests to go through than patch 4.2, but that doesn't mean it's going to be shorter per se. What do you guys about Jade, the goddess's thrall? Lord Hien is expecting you. May I show you in? Saying, do you consider yourself a Ken guardsman? Ever since he drained our coffers dry by buying that sword, Alphino has been keeping his purse strings in a death grip. I can't even buy a cup of tea without him going on about the dangers of frivolous spending. We know the broad strokes from his letter, but I would hear the details of our Dome and Friends' progress from Lord Hien himself. Ah, I see my sis' letter reached you across the Ruby Sea. Thank you for coming so swiftly. Though I wrote at some length on the subject of the forthcoming exchange, there was one other matter I neglected to mention. It concerns Gosetsu. As you may have observed, he returned from his ordeal rather worse for wear, and despite his best efforts to conceal his condition, or perhaps because of them, he recently collapsed. Good gods, is he alright? Confined in bed and grumbling without cease, but he has shown signs of recovery. He made me promise not to tell you, lest you worry unduly, which was all the very well when you weren't there here. Now that you are, however, I think it high time you receive some visitors. Might you spare him a moment? Yotsuyu has scarce left his side, and I imagine you are curious to see what has become of her as well. We will visit him at once. Miro, LSA, shall we?
Open wide now.
Please, Tsuyu. I'm not so frail that I cannot feed myself. I grow weary of the taste of gruel.
You don't like it? Can I fetch you something else?
Aye, wine! Or if that is not wholesome enough, I don't know. A sweet persimmon from Namai? I enjoyed them in my youth.
A persimmon.
Nay, pay me no mind. I am full. Besides, we have guests.
I hope we are not interrupting your meal. We had heard you were confined to bed and thought you might welcome some visitors.
Confined to... a gross exaggeration. A trifle drained from my exertions, perhaps, but with a little rest, I shall be fighting fit again in no time.
Take off your clothes.
Gosetsu, is this how you've been spending your time?
My lady, I assure you this is not.
Off with them. We need to wash you. You stink. What are all these scars? There are so many of them.
A life of battle will leave its mark upon a man. Is something wrong, Tsuyu?
It's nothing. I'm fine.
But leave me be, woman. I will not be fussed over like some newborn babe.
They make a convincing pair, do they not? On first acquaintance, I would have think him a doting grandsire and her a model grandchild. Indeed, had someone told me a year ago that I would bear witness to such a scene, I would have declared them mad. That aside, I am relieved to see Gosetsu has lost none of his spirit. But what a turn of events! I mean, for her to suddenly be watching over him? You could make it up, although I suppose Gosetsu is an old man. With the way he charges through life, it could be easy to forget. Aye, he has resisted decrepitude with the same defiance he showed the enemies of Doma. But no matter, how adamant his will, no man can carry on forever. He has pushed himself beyond his limits of endurance too many times. Even if his health returns, the fact remains he will never again be the warrior he once was. He has given his all for his liege and land, and we will ask no more. And what of his nurse? If Yotsuyu is feigning that, she will certainly have me fooled. This is no pretense. Yugiri, out of all of us, I think you'd be the hardest to convince, so what makes you so sure? I have been spying on Yotsuyu from the shadows, waiting for the misstep that would surely betray her charade for what it was. But her mask has never slipped, not once. She has remained in character from the first. One evening, I watched her as she sat in her chambers, unguarded and alone. She had taken the dishes from the cupboard and was pretending to prepare dinner right there on the tatami, a child's game. Even the wariest of shinobi would not go to such lengths. I can but conclude that her mind is truly broken. Well, that's good enough for me, and everyone else, I would hazard. Aye, the matter is settled. Yotsuyu will become Tsuyu and begin a new life here in Doma. Before that can happen, however, we will need to present her to the ambassador one last time to prove that her memory is truly gone. But I would not risk parading her in front of our returning conscripts. Her presence at the exchange would only stir up mutinous thoughts. Understandably, she is good as fastened the chains around their necks. Aye, which is why I mean to conclude this business with Tsuyu first, out of the sight of my countrymen. Will you help me? We are at your service. There is no higher purpose than the pursuit of peace. My thanks. The Guardians are on their way, and we must prepare to welcome the ambassador. We will meet you at the docks with Tsuyu. Hey, Yugiri. Even after the weeks of surveillance, it was difficult for me to accept that Yotsuyu's condition was genuine, but not as difficult as accepting Gosetsu's affection for her. The skiff will take us to our meeting place with the ambassador. We will join you at the docks once preparations have been made. Hussein, have you ever been on a skiff? How about you, Tengage? I know Vector has. Vector's a famous streamer. He owns a yacht. In fact, he's probably watching stream right now from his yacht. You have. Did you enjoy the ride? Shall we wait here then? Lord Hien should not be long. You've been on many types of boats, so you've enjoyed all of them? I've been on a canoe, a ferry. My friends, have you seen Tsuyu? She is nowhere to be found. What? But the Guardians will be landing in a matter of moments. If she's fled, could it mean her memories have returned? I know not. Yugiri is scouring the streets as we speak, but it is possible Tsuyu has left the Enclave altogether. Captain, a word. Did you perchance carry a fair-skinned woman across the river? A fair-skinned woman, my lord? I do not rightly know. Yeah, I think... Yes, my lord. Now that you mention it, there was a lady amongst the passengers whom I do not recall having seen before. Her face was hidden by the brim of her hat, but I do remember taking her hand to help her onto the boat. White as new fallen snow it was. Was she someone important, my lord? Have I done something wrong? Wrong? No. I was merely hoping to catch our guest before she departed. Be at ease, Captain. It would seem that Tsuyu has crossed the river. Kami, help me. No good can come of this. Alright, let's grab... I should do the healing one, but... There's honestly no reason to take either of these, because I'm going to get better in both, so I'll just take healing. Without Tsuyu, I cannot see how the prisoner exchange, or indeed the peace process at large, can proceed. We have to find her, and soon. Her memory must have returned. Why else would she run? It seems like Tsuyu has gone unrecognized thus far, but Kami help us if someone catches a clear view of her face. I must find her before that happens. The responsibility for her disappearance, for all of this, lies with me, but I would ask you for your aid nonetheless. We are at your service, Lord Hien. Now as before, let us make crossing and begin our search. You go on ahead. Should someone let Yugiri know what we've learned, I'll join you on the other side. We have no way of knowing where Tsuyu is headed, so we had best divide our forces. I will take Kusakari and its surroundings. Alpinode, if you would take the road to Castrum Pulimis. Miro, forgive me, but could I ask you to interrogate the residents of Yuzuka Manor? One of the Namazu may well have seen our quarry. If everyone is in agreement, let us board the skiff and hope the Kami smile upon our efforts. Bad things were happening, that's why the music. Can't we just fly over the river and spot her from the air? I mean, we can, yeah. That's likely to be the plan. In my Magitech hand, that surely won't go unnoticed in this area. Welcome to Yuzuka Manor, yes. If there's anything you care to know, you need only... A pale-skinned woman? I have seen no such traveler. I am sorry to say. Most sorry. Scaly-skinned Namazu, on the other hand, we have in abundance. Unusually pale skin? Yes, I saw this woman on the way back from my fishing trip. She had just crossed the shallows east of here, and she was heading in a northeasterly direction. For the most part, her steps did not seem certain. If you hurry, you might still catch her. Hey, how do you feel about my Gundam here? Alas, it is more Transformer than Gundam. You see no sign of Yotsuyu to the north. Perhaps she's somewhere further off to the northeast. Alright. Now, why exactly would Yotsuyu be heading all the way out here? Only Vector knows. Still no sign of Yotsuyu. Perhaps she is farther to the northeast. Well, she wouldn't. Why would she have to leave then? I don't know why we need a 10-second cast time for this, but sure. Yotsuyu is nowhere to be seen, but lying on the ground a short distance to the north, you spy a familiar-looking wide-brimmed hat. He's very loud. Bamboo hat. A cursory glance is all that required to confirm your suspicion. It is the same hat Yotsuyu was wearing when you found her in Sakazuki. Miro, before you ask, our search of the Kusakari in the supposing region yielded exactly naught. Save this chance for using with you, I suppose. Mistress Alisaie's gone to assist her brother at the castrum. It was she who informed me of the situation. I joined Lord here and there shortly after. How did you fare at Yuzuka Manor? Any sign of our missing guest? Towards Namai! By the kami! If the villagers recognize her, it will not end well. We must hurry. Yugiri and I will check the paddles. Or the patties. The village square is yours.
Greetings. Might I have one of your... Wait! Please! I only wanted a persimmon.
Kami, save us! Her spirit has returned!
She's back from the dead to seek her revenge!
It can't be. She couldn't have survived.
What did I do?
As if you don't know!
Good people of Namai, be at ease, I pray you. You have naught to fear.
My lord, forgive me, but what is that monster doing here? They told us she was dead!
I too was surprised to learn of her survival. More even than you, I would hazard. 'Twas I who cut her down, I who left her to her fate. But it would seem the Kami had other plans. By some miracle, both she and Gosetsu were spared when the keep collapsed, though Yotsuyu's preservation came at the cost of her memory.
You're saying she's forgotten? Forgotten everything she's done?
Lies! Lies! My lord, she would say anything to escape punishment!
What does it matter? We have not forgotten her crimes, and we demand justice! I beg of you, Lord Hien, draw your blade and rid us of this canker!
What I saw then, it's all true. I'm sorry! I'm so sorry.
You're sorry? And what? We're supposed to forgive you?
Here, there's no need to cry. Can't you see how scared she is? How can you be scared of her? She's not the same.
Until such time as her memories return, this woman shall be known as Tsuyu and treated as a citizen of Doma. I will, however, see that she is watched at all times. Rest assured that there will be no more unannounced visits to the village. As your lord, I ask that you leave her fate in my hands and suffer her to live, for now.
Please, Issei.
All right. I'll keep my peace. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
Let's see, we can get Steak, Banjo, Amadatsu, which is probably the one we take because it's got spell speed. Let's do that. We as the player can see that she is having glimpses of her past. I don't know why everyone is so angry, but I got the fruit Gosetsu wanted. Hope he likes it. All of this over a persimmon. I failed to consider how she might endanger herself, knowing she has the mind of a child. I should have continued my vigilance, not relaxed it. Fruits of her labor. That would have been better avoided, but at least it did not end in bloodshed. And judging by Tsuyu's reaction, she remains oblivious to the events of her former life. This was no escaped attempt. Nay, it seems it was an offhand request of Gosetsu's what brought her here to Namai. She came in search of a persimmon. Ha! And they say fruit is as good for the health. I do hope Gosetsu finds the taste to his liking. Well, we have certainly taken the long way around, but let us continue on to Castrum Fluminus and our meeting with the ambassador. Alphino and Alice should be there, conducting their search. This music gives you nostalgia for Mop, even though this is the wrong game. I mean, I can see why, though. The music is set in that era, you know, not era, but set in that style, and then you have the fact that both are kind of like a Japanese, Asian-themed expansion. Then we have to fly over to Castrum Fluminus, which is this area over here, if you guys recall. We haven't done too much with this yet. If she does get her memory back, you wonder if she goes back to her old ways or somewhere in the middle. The Imperial airship has arrived. Whether our conscripts are aboard remains to be seen. I was sure Yotsuyu had fled, but it seems her memory hasn't returned after all. How foolish of me not to consider Gosetsu craving for seasonal fruit. Lord Heian informed us of the uproar at Namai. Thank the 12, you found Yotsuyu when you did. I dare not think what might have happened had you not. Do we have to stay here long? He'll be waiting for his fruit. It seems our Imperial guests have already arrived. It is time to meet with the ambassador.
What a pleasure it is to see you once more, Lord Hien. Not to mention my dear sister.
A pleasure to see you too, Ambassador. Forgive us our late arrival. You have our people aboard the airship?
Exactly as agreed. We would leave you in no doubt as to the purity of our intentions. I dare say it was the selfsame spirit of cooperation which prompted you to bring Yotsuyu here today.
Indeed. Before excluding her from the exchange, I thought it only fair that you see her condition for yourself. Physically, she is in fine health, but her mind is unchanged.
So I see. But all need not necessarily be lost. In anticipation of this tragic turn of events, I took the liberty of inviting some special guests.
Ah, Yotsuyu. You look well.
Of all the people.
Is something wrong, dear sister? These are our beloved parents. Does not the sight of them bring back sweet childhood memories?
Gosetsu. I have to take this to Gosetsu.
It would seem my little surprise was not sufficient. You needn't glare at me so, Lord Hien. I merely did what any loving son would do for his family. Lest you doubt, I am content to leave the acting viceroy in your care. Pray, treat her as you would any daughter of Dorma. Do not grow too fond of this place, dear sister. You will come back to us ere long.
We continue with the exchange as planned then.
Very good. The structure across the river should serve our needs. We shall await you there with the conscripts. If you would bring your captives.
Agreed. Until then, Ambassador.
Can you do with all this pee?
Knew better than to trust Asahi, but that was a dirty trick. Still, unpleasant as it was, we have at least put the matter of Tsuyu's future to rest. I have sent her back to the Enclave with Yugiri to give Gosetsu his precious persimmon. Come, let us follow them. You have that look, Alphino. What is it? Oh, nothing of consequence, most like. We can discuss it upon our return. They didn't bring any captives? Still suspecting foul play on their part, Tengage? I suppose Tsuyu is to become an official Doman citizen, but what then? Will they keep her hidden here forever? Or might she one day be allowed to walk among her countrymen? So it would seem that there will be one less prisoner at the exchange. I only hope Yotsuyu's presence here will not present further problems. Alright, before we continue, guys, we got take a break, and then we got another 30 minutes of today's stream. We have about an hour total, so we got a lot of time to see how this plays out.